wena umkhulu omandla aphindaphindiwe, wena ubusa esibhakabhakeni sasenyakatho, uyingwe enkulu, enamandla, edla yonke inkohlakalo yami, siyavusela kuwe mgwini, wena uletha kumnyama, emkhunjini wasemini, kamveli nqangi ilanga, wena unamandla amakhulu, esangweni lakho, wena odla amanga, ezinsalela zabantu, wena usabekayo, ohlala ezindaweni ezifihlekile, mhlukanisi, ohlukanisa ingxabano, kuloyo wahlulela e-amented, mlamuli oletha ukudideka neqiniso, phambi kwaloyo wahlulelayo, ukuze ahlulele ngenhliziyo emsulwa, mholi ohola izinyoka, emkhunjini wobusuku, Nkosi yezithunzi, uziholela emasangweni, ngosuku lesinqumo, ngaphambi kwenkosi yabaphilayo, amusinye,
All right, can we all be seated? Let us all feel welcomed. Welcome, SC Godwin, 897 here, last street. If this is your first time, please be seated and feel comfortable. We gather here every Sunday, knowing very well that this is the journey of thyself. When we come here and to learn and to unlearn, we're coming to learn the African calendar. And the African calendar, it is the spirits that govern the universe. We come here to embrace what we don't see, understanding very well that our physicality carry a story that can never be seen by the naked eye. We go beyond all the physicality, we go beyond for what we know. My name is Wendy Mbalo. I was born and raised in the village of Zindzi. And as I stand, I represent the great empire of Kemet. Before we need to understand what are the things that make us vibrate on a higher frequencies, because here we are here to celebrate the frequencies that make us so beautiful. It is not the smile that is beautiful, but it's the energies that make sure that we know. Today we are celebrating the life of Zindzi, Mandela. But before I say that, Zesilo has to give us the topic today, and after Zesilo does that, and let us understand that Zindzi is very dear to Zesilo. Zindzi is a mother to Zesilo. So Silologi, today Minga Mama, please give us the topic, and then now you come after Zesilo and tell us how do we vibrate high. So over to you, Silo. What are we doing today?
Okay, so today's topic is remake Zindzi Mandela. Instead of explaining, something to understand.
Oh, beautiful, Silo.
Dear Ma, you showed me so much. I got the opportunity to go and see how life is outside of South Africa. You are the most powerful person I have ever met, with so much joy and love you showed to all of us, and I can't believe that it's been 2 years since the Queen left her body, and I still can't believe you left us with so much power and so much wisdom. And I know my mother was such a powerful person, and I hope you are okay with Grandpa and Grandma. Heaven could not wait for you.
and I will be leading the announcements for today. So we are currently in the season of set. Set. I'm busy. I'm singing high. So the things that align us with the season of set. Inyanga is June. Ije is Hermetic. Umbala is red. Intimbi is lead. Impepo is natron. And then Amaka is mask. And then Isihlahla is ebony. Izilwane, goat, antelope, crocodile, hippopotamus, and gazelle. So Set originally was a sky god, lord of the desert, master of storms, disorder, and warfare. In general, a trickster. Set embodied the necessary and creative element of violence and disorder within the ordered world. So to find and follow us on our social media platforms, you can go to Instagram at GEK_movement, Twitter at GEK_movement or GEK Bona Bakulu, on Facebook at GEK Movement Bona Bakulu Basekemu, then on YouTube at GEK or Great Empire of Kemit Bona Bakulu. Please do like, share, comment, subscribe, and please don't skip ads. This helps with the algorithm. Our private Facebook group is Bona Bakulu Basekemu. And then we are also available on Apple and Spotify podcast at Great Empire of Kemit Bona Bakulu. And then at our market today, we have Booksman. They search, find, deliver any kind of books you need or looking for. This is one of their books by Dr. Sally, the Diet Cookbook. No meat is involved in this book, so please do get yourself one for Mashori herbal products. This is the Mashori Rab. They have the 250 milliliters for 150 rand, 125 milliliters for 100 rand, 30 milliliters for 30 rand. And then we also have the Cancer Bush, 50 grams for 100 rand, 25 grams for 50 rand. And then this is also the Cancer Bush. So this is the other version of Cancer Bush. These are the pills, so if you don't want to use the powder for Cancer Bush, just get the pills. You're also known as the Cancer Bush pills. Then we also have the Truth Seekers with the different types of arms, rings, and necklaces. You can get yourself an arm to align with your season, any type of color, shape, size. Go to the market. The Truth Seekers are there to assist with the arms. And then on Wednesdays, we give platform to Black-owned businesses for entrepreneurs to market their businesses. For that, you send info at gekmovement.org. And then every Wednesday, we at 7 p.m., we engage topics on the African Royal Calendar on Twitter Spaces. You don't need an account to access or join this engagement. And then this is the African Royal Calendar, the book Umkhulu reads from when he does Umpahlo. Please do get yourself a copy for only 150 rands and to know more about yourself. The African Royal Calendar, the dates don't go from the 1st to the 31st, but the 23rd to the 23rd. They go from seasons, not months, and fortunately we don't have an English version of the African Royal Calendar. While on that, we are asking for translators. If you're willing to translate the African Royal Calendar, please do volunteer to do so to any language you feel comfortable in. Okay, let me say this. If you need help with anything, please don't bother or hesitate to call me. I'll be there to assist you anytime. Yeah, I think that's all I have for you today. Handing it over to Invoking. As I always say, Nakalina Kinanewa, representing the kingdom of Oset. 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 Invoking. Invoking.
Bye.
Mandela, Neo, and Zosilo, quoting Zosilo's words when he says that he has never seen a powerful person like Mama Wake, referring to Zindzi. Now that is the legacy that Zindzi left to her children. That is the legacy Zindzi left to the whole nation. There's nothing that you cannot say was Zindzi, but when you remember the power that was in there. So Socio-political, we truly understand by being here and invoking the spirit of Mama Wako, you will find healing in our voices. So before singing in Ndabeni, as I said, today we are remembering Zindzi. Zindzi multiplied on the 13th of July, which has been 2 years now. So we've been carrying her through our hearts because in the physicality, we had to say goodbye. But now memory stays alive. That is why we say in Kemet spirituality, there is no death. People multiply. When we say this, science really approves what we say because we are energy. Energy never dies. So today again, we want to tap into her energy and truly embrace what she has left in us. And we're going to invoke that spirit. Before we do that, I need to remind ourselves that we are going to Nzalo Yelanga, African New Year. Nzalo Yelanga is calling, and some of us, in spirituality, we have arrived, isn't it? We have been there, we have touched the ground, we have truly seen the sun that rises, and we have truly seen the shine, because we understand that the story of the African calendar started there. African calendar is what Okoko used to use before the Gregorian or the colonial era. They used what we call this African calendar. So Inkosi used to study the movement of the planet Earth around the sun. So the establishment or the structure that is Nzalo Yelanga, that is what Okoko, if I simplify this, I would say it was their clock. Because they built that understanding that as above, so below. So the stars that are above the mountain, that is the caps warp and right at Nzalo. They built that. They still want people, because of the stone that they use, which is the dolomite. It is so heavy. Their researchers are still busy understanding how was that structure built. Because of the understanding, it is built in circles. So there's actually a circle within a circle and a circle. And as I'm saying, they use the dolomite stones. But in that, when you get to Nzalo Yelanga, there are stones that represent the eastern marker. That is, up again, the eastern marker is the one where the shadows, as the sun rises, it hits right there on that stone. And there's a stone that represents the northern marker. As the sun rises, it hits right there. We call that one the summer solstice, isn't it? And then the western marker, we call that one, as the sun rises, it hits right there. So that is the western marker, see the most, and experience that. And then the southern marker is also there. There's a stone that represents that, which is right at Phoenix. And now when you truly look at that, you look at the 4 cardinal points. But Okoko used to go there and embrace that. So it's a place that really carries the energy. And the stones that are really right at the center of Nzalo Yelanga, right in the middle now of all these cardinal points, those are the ones now that they are two. They will study the movement of the shadow, and that shadow will tell them now which season are we at. So Okoko would see there the shadow. So never underestimate your shadow. Your shadow, it carries a language that is for you to understand, and that is for you to embrace. So we go there on the 22nd of September. Make sure you arrive early. You find yourself there and truly connect with all the energy that is there. Nzalo Yelanga is very powerful. The frequencies that are there, those Dolomites as Gali, they truly awaken and enlighten you so that you can meet yourself. Don't wait for the day that you multiply to meet yourself. Make sure in the physicality, in the life that you live, you meet yourself. So we're going there. We see back. That is Asal Belimandi. That is the return now. That is when the sun hits right there at Nzalo Yelanga. Arrive early. Possible be there in the afternoon. But the program is starting at 6. So we always can make sure we have to give thanks to the ancestors. So that starts at 5:30, but 6 o'clock. And then when you go in Nzalo Yelanga, you'll be able to understand in physicality and in spirituality what is this African calendar, this legacy esayiqalelwa ngumama uWinnie, uZindzi Mandela, nomkhulu Nsingiza. So go there and embrace it. And truly understand that when you go in Nzalo Yelanga, it is not your first time. It might be your first time in the physicality. We understand that the journey of the soul, it never starts, it never ends. It has always been there. So I'll see you again Nzalo Yelanga on the 22nd. Come prepared. All the houses you're going to represent who you are. The gift that you were born. Lovula, Ozalwa, Uifunja Tisiwe. This is where we're going to learn all these frequencies, all these vibrational frequencies, which is the African calendar. All the seasons are going to be fully explained there. So I'm looking forward to all of that and truly, truly understand who are we when we get there. So on that, let's give me one song and then I get onto the program of the day. You are welcome. Mandela, Songwane, remembering Zindzi, remembering Socio-political, Ngolomsila, BMM, Uvela Bempensele, remembering Unlego. I say, as I stand here, I encourage and say, let's journey together. Let's journey together and truly connect to the words, some remember. Let us journey together and understand that we're talking about our daughter here. Let us remember that we're talking about the gallant fighter, the fearless fighter, talking about the daughter of Ukamama Uwini Nomzamo Mandela, talking about Indokazi Kamadiba Katalibunga, Stethaga Ngendovukazi Kaya Nelson Kaholihlahla Mandela. Zindzi multiplied on the 13th of July 2020. We were borrowed in the physicality for 59 years. Well, she was born in 1960, the 23rd of December. Now, Umkhuluke uzongena endabeni and truly understand that we're talking again for something that is truly dear to him, because uZindzi was married to Umkhulu Nsingiza. They have children together. So when that together, I said, we again, amke Socio-political, Ngolomsila, uyem uvela bambenzele. It is an honor to be standing here and truly remembering this gallant fighter and truly understanding that the beauty that she had, it was not only the physical, but truly embraced the truth. Quoting her words, uZindzi uthi, we need to live in a world that is ego-free and humble ourselves to talent, wisdom, and courage when it reveals itself. Now, when you're understanding that a gallant fighter that truly understood that the system that is used in South Africa, it is based on an ego, which means that it's based on physicality. So uZindzi uthi, we need to live in a world that is ego-free, understanding that we need to be spiritual beings to understand our journeys. At dear apartheid apologist, your time is over. You will not rule again. We do not fear you. Finally, the land is ours. I am as a spiritual being, you understand that when Zindzi talks about the land, not talking about the physicality, she understood that the land represents something that is bigger than the eye can see. She understands that the land is our soul. Understand that if you don't have the connection to the land, you'll never be able to experience the truth about who you are. uZindzi says that if you don't connect, the land is ours, because she understands that the land carries our truth, it carries inkaba yethu. Therefore, if we don't own it, then who shall own it? uZindzi understand that our physicality depends on our land, because the physicality of your body, it comes from the land. The connection of the land is very important. Uthi, dear apartheid apologist, your time is over. Because in that, she understood that there is an African calendar, that you need to align yourself. The African calendar, it is the land, but not what you see. The spirit that makes sure that we vibrate on that frequencies. The power of Umdomnyam is understanding the journey of the land. But I'm going to say and stand here and say it was such an honor that I had to meet Nambo Zindzi in the physicality. Our journey was very unique. It was only 23 days. I met with Zindzi on Mkhulu Nsingiza's birthday. It was the 21st. And the 13th of July, she multiplied. I was left with so many questions because I wanted to understand the significance of 23. Why 23 days? Why not 23 years? Why not 23 months? Why does it have to be days? But in that, one thing that I remember very well, what I wanted and I needed more time with her. I was not enough the 23 days. And that is when I came with this quote that says that we do not have time. Because one thing I realized that I did not understand when I met her, that I only have 23 days. But then when I understood that the legacy that was leaving behind to me was to learn the African calendar. And it was not an easy journey. I'm still fighting a war now, even now, to understand myself and mostly to understand the connection. And I always stand in partner. Why 23 days, Zindzi? Why didn't you give me more time? When I look at her and find her heartbeat and truly connect with her smile and see how much she trusted me, I still wake up every day in partner. Why 23 days? Because I wanted more. But in the spirituality, I understand that we are together. There are days that I don't want to wake up. There are days that but there are days that I have also fought a war. I have never had it easy. And in that, I climb into your strength. And then I drive to a Scotland. Some days I arrive and I could see my tears. Because spirituality is the journey that you do not choose in the physicality. I was driven there. I was connected to Zindzi, not by my physicality. It's a journey I never chose. But again, in that journey, andigunde, andibuyimva, ndithi ndiyaphambili, ndithi amandla! Amandla ngawethu. So okay, I'm going to hand over to Mkhulu. I'm going to come back, you know that. But in that, I want to say, I love Zindzi, and I love the fact that she had trust in me. When we started working in this journey, we're actually going to work on E-Foundation, Kamama Wini. But on the last meeting we had, we decided, I was there, and I was there, but no man, let's work on your foundation, which is Zindzi. As I'm saying, I was chosen. It's not the path that I chose. But now I opened my heart and I truly committed. And every day I wake up and unlearn. And every day and truly understand it. There's so much I would have wanted to choose in this journey. And I understand now that. And my journey had to start at the school. I don't know where it's heading. But one thing I know for sure, her words, her physicality, it's written all over me. And over to you, Mkhulu. Let's evoke the spirit of Zindzi.
Ngiqale nje ngokwamukela wonke umuntu okhona. Siyabonga kakhulu. Sibonge nje ukuthi sibe nesabelo salelanga namhlanje. Ngibonga kakhulu uma sizo celebrate the warrior spirit kaZindzi. Abangani bakhe bakhona. Thokozani. Indlovukazi lezi. Abantu bebephila naye. Siyabonga ukuthi you've honored the day. Ukumkhumbula ngoba in these days once ushonile ngisho nabangani bakho bayakhohlwa. Kepha thina we will keep ndabezitha Ndabezitha uyangizuma. Bengikhuluma naye ekseni akasho ukuthi Ndabezitha. Usibusisile. Siyabonga kakhulu Matiwani. Thokoza Ndabezitha. Bengisabonga nje indlovukazi ekhona. Ezaziphila nayo indlovukazi uZindzi. Zinzisi. Siyabonga kakhulu ukuthi nikhona nonke enikhona. namhlanje sizobungaza, celebrate. It's not a lecture day. And kumele sizwe nani ukuthi unthinte kanjani uzinziso. Yini lesifundo enisitholile kuye. What have we learned from impilo kaZindziswa? Ngoba uZindziswa nomama umzela nomzala nomzala ubungeke kubahlukanisa uma uZindzwa ubona umama. Manje ke mina personally yizinkokheli lezi ezingimotivateile nganqela kuzo. I remember there was a time ngizdoubta mina self uma ngiqala lo msebenzi ngoba you are swimming against the tide. Iningi labantu liyale lipraise wonke lo mbhede esikuwo. Kepha sayiqala lendlela moving against the tide. Umuntu owanginikeza isibindi yindlovukazi uZinzi. Yathi mkhulu yindlela le ama-Africa doesn't matter ukuthi how difficult it is in the beginning. Kepha bambelela mkhulu kuzoze kulunga. I'm sure naye la ekhona mekebuke emuva uyajabula. Akafani nabanye abahambe emhlabeni. Kepha mebebuka emuva bathola ukuthi abantu abamnyama babhizi nezibilibo. Ubukhazi never be uhuru izwe lingakabuyi makhehla. Indlovukazi siyibonile ifunde elikhulu kundlovukazi uMamWinnie. uMamWinnie during his struggle, she was the commander of all operations la. And the uZinzi was part of those operations. uZinzi, the last operation ayenza, she was almost 9 months pregnant. Carrying an AK la, athatha isiqondiso from the commander. Nayi into okumele uyenza namhlanje. And she did it perfectly. Babuya. Without any harm. Hand of God. Hand of God. Hand of God. Manje ke utholeke ukuthi hey kunabantu abaqhuba ubuvaka. Ubuvaka kufuneki. And don't be enticed by ibilibo nobukhazi, because this is what this fake life is enticing with. You know, mobona zonke lezinto zasesentini ubukhazi. That is not you. It's not you. Bazama ukuheha so that you become like the majority that have been captured. Yilo bukhazi. Kanti if ngabe besinamadoda namakhosikazi afana noZindziswa noMamWinnie sithi sikhulume igama ligcwale ukuthi they never sold us out till the end. Awukaze uzwe ukuthiwa hayi uZinzi ube no open hammer sebe decide ukuthi kuzoba nje. Kepha we've witnessed indlovukazi bayibhale emaphepheni when she can't pay rent. Abantu bamangale ukuthi hawu umntwana kaMandela kaphatha akakhona ukukhokha irent kanjani. That was the sacrifice she did. Ukuthi I was there personally in some of the corporate companies who were approaching us to come and be the ear and eyes of the stock market at the JSE. But we refused all those offers. And that not only affected us, affected ingane zethu. our children were deprived of ubukhazi ney'biliboco. Why? Because we took a conscious and the right decision. Ukuthi we would rather suffer than, bask in this glory from Lord. We will never do that until all of us have got an opportunity to actually make a living. If ke sesivumelane sonke ukuthi indlela nayo, yingakho indlovukazi yathi, mkhulu, the only thing that will solve the problem yomuntu omnyama is black unity. Black unity and nothing else. Ngoba abelungu nabokufika la basihlakaze ngamabomu so that they are able to deal with us. Bathathe lo bamvalele khoneni bampromise lokhu, bathathe loya bamvalele khoneni bampromise lokhu. How? Seniyamangala abantu abaphuma endlini eyodwa, they are fighting in public. Why? This is what is confusing us even today. Ukuthi abaholi bethu, why are they fighting in public? Basihlaza kangaka. And then when you then investigate ukuthi yini lebayilwelayo, control of the resources. Ezisuka kuphi? From the Republic of South Africa, which is theft. Theft lento manje ke indlovukazi uZindzi ibuya kulobo bukhosi, kepha ubengaphakathi in the belly of the beast. But wayibona lento ukuthi cha mkhulu akuyona lento. And then nakhona she's getting a cue from uMamwini, because uMamwini warned all of us ukuthi when we continue in this direction, we are selling our people. But instead ukuthi simamele ukuthi umuntu omdala uthini, we are still enjoying the softies zabelungu. Siba nesibindi sokuyothuka umuntu omdala. Hey, Winnie, peace. Abasambizi bahloniphisa umama. Ingane seyimane zithi Winnie. Amashwa ke lo lawo. Ngokwesintu, whoever did that, angeke azabe right. Ngoba umama khona manje iqiniso liyaphuma. Bonke labantu laba bebempenda, bampenda ngezitori zabo Stombi. uZindzi fought a great fight to actually dispel all those lies. uZindzi knew ukuthi umama kaStombi was lying. uZindzi knew ukuthi there was a footage umama kaStombi ebuzwa yi-journalist ethize ukuthi yingane yakho nale. Wathi hayi angazi dibase so. Uyayithola leyo. Kepha a lot of us knew ukuthi kunale situation eso, to a point ukuthi sathi mesifuna imaterial at the SABC were refused. And the head of SABC then was umuntu omnyama. So it means ukuthi everybody was on the bandwagon to attack uMamwini. Let her die nale ashaza ukuthi umbulali. Kwaziwa kahle ukuthi uStombi ubulawe yilamabhunu. Hey, this is what led ukuthi umama notata bahlukana. Because ANC felt ukuthi umama ungcolisa igama likatata. uZindzi wafunga ukuthi I will never let my mother go down. Nale qhashaza ukuthi wenze into angayenzanga. So asifundeni isifundo makhehle, loyalty. Loyalty. If you don't have the loyalty, how uyinkinga? Uyinkinga, you are dangerous. Ngoba kuyofika umuntu athi khona la isigodlweni If you are weak, uzosibulala isikolo. But we won't allow you. Sibhekile. Kanti ubhekwa na umoya. Uzobhinqa lo moya wasesigodlweni. Never even try that. So, siyabonga sibonga indlovukazi ukuthi namhlanje uya sometimes makukhuluma ngomuntu ongasekho. Kuba naleyo nto ukuthi hey iqiniso ngiyalazi. Thengisile la muntu. Kepha manje I'm going to stand in front of people and say, hey lo muntu beke so, hey lo muntu beke so. Mengikhuluma ngalabantu engikhuluma ngabo, ngikhuluma ngento engiyaziyo, engi-experienceile. To a point ukuthi umama at some point every month would go around asking ingane zakhe ukuthi, hey naku indlu seyathathwa la. Ngicela uncedo. For umuntu that liberated this country. Simbonge kanjani manu mama. I-absa ibhizi ifuna ukuthatha le ndlu kamama. Who fought that fight? Wayiwina uZindzi. uZindzi saved indlu kamama. Is there today because of uZindzi. Hand of God. 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 Hey, mele mawuhambile emhlabeni sikhulume kanje ngawe. Hey, sikhulume kanje ngawe ukuthi uZindzi loved her mother so much ukuthi she was willing to sacrifice everything to make sure ukuthi umamakhe she's okay. So yinto mina engikhuzayo kini ukuthi kumele sibheke izinto makhehla. Singathathwa ubukhazikhazi. Ubukhazikhazi buyadlula nemali. Buyadlula konke lokho. Kepha okhokho mebekunikeze ithuba, they gave you an opportunity for you to contribute towards rebuilding umuntu omnyama. Ngoba inkinga yethu lapho. We need to rebuild the soul of a black person and the character of a black person. Thina singamakhosi namakhosikazi asibona abafokazana. Igazi lobukhosi runs in our veins, but we behave like abafokazana in our own country. How do we allow ukuthi abelungu are still enjoying umhlaba wethu today? Once we leave kulama concentration camps, we call amakasi. We've glorified them. Sawabiza with all sorts of nice names. Utoti lento esikuyo makhehla. Kepha umama wathi, I'm not leaving Soweto. Ngiyophuma la ngebhokisi. That is exactly what happened. Hey, once other leaders bathola izindlu all over edrobheni. Bashiyela kule nhlupheko. Meaning ukuthi makuyile load shedding, akunamanzi, they are not affected. And yet they claim to lead the black people. How do you lead abantu when you don't feel their pain? Uyabakhohlisa. So isikhathi samaqiniso lesimanje. Isikhathi samaqiniso ukuthi si-invoke the warrior spirit kaZindzi noma. To walk the last mile of our struggle as a collective. It's not yet uhuru. It's not yet uhuru. And the land of ifuna wonke umuntu omnyama irresponsibility yomuntu omnyama to contribute towards rebuilding umuntu omnyama. Don't adopt the attitude nawe ukuthi hey labantu laba hayi ngeke. That is the attitude ekhona manje, and that is the attitude ezoyenza ukuthi le nhlupheko and the colonization of the mind sidlulisele kule ingane esizalana. What responsibility are we showing to le ngane uma silokho singamavaka? And usaba into engekho, usaba ukufa. Sathi thina mawungena kulombutho uyabheja ngempilo yakho ukuthi iuma ngifa ngifele ukuthi ngenza umsebenzi wamakhehla. Let it be. Awukwazi ukungena kule struggle esikuso ube half-hearted. Enye inhliziyo ingapha, enye inhliziyo ingale. Into efunekalayo isombululo siyovela kithi sonke. Akekho umuntu one-solution yalento. Yingakho kumele sihlangane, black unity. It's no longer an option kithi abantu abamnyama. It's an obligation ukuthi all of us should be working towards a black unity. We all belong to political philosophies, all of us. But akube nebhodo elihlanganisayo outside politics and religion. In that way, we will be able to actually move very faster in attaining lento sifunayo. Remember sathi isikhathi sokunegotiate nabelungu for umhlaba wethu it's over. Ifuna umuntu omnyama ahlangane sikhulume ngezwe lodwa ukuthi labelungu sibanikeza 30 days umhlaba wethu ubuye and siyenze leyo nto siwuthathe umhlaba wethu. Sinenhlanhla namhlanje sinenkosi yaseMangwaneni Ndabezitha. uNdabezitha ufungile wathi ngifuna ukwenza iBakeville must be a shining example of what needs to happen throughout the whole country. And collectively into besisho ukuthi once isuka eMangwaneni wonke umuntu omnyama will be lungumela phuma phele eMangwaneni. Injalo leyo nto ngoba into esihluphayo ekhaya esihlupha noNdabezitha ukuthi uMatiwane uthini mekebuke emuva izwe lakhe ifa lethu lidlala belungu. Uthini uMatiwane manje ke makhehla ngoba isimo sibucayi kwaZulu eNatal lapha isimo sibucayi iconfusion elapha it's unbelievable. Yingakho ngithi we cannot wait for amakhosi to resolve into yawo izodelaya iprogress yethu. eMangwaneni is the only place currently engiyaziyo enenkosi ehluzekile la ekhaya. Injalo makhaya. Manje ke namhlanje sizo evoke lo moya wendlovukazi. Umoya bongenele uQueen Zinga, uQueen Mantantisi, uQueen Asantewa. Ungenele uMamwini noZindzi. Umuntu simbona ngezenzo zakhe. Asizwe ngamagama 1000 umuntu lakho akutshela ukuthi hey mina I'm great. I-greatness yakhe yirabhe lakithi. Sifile. Ezenzo zakho zenzayo. So siyayibonga indlovukazi. Mina personally ngiyambonga ukuthi uhambe la emhlabeni ulungisile into ethize sambona ebambene eyedwa bonke labantu beqembu lakhe o iningi labo majority yabo they were attacking him for making a call ukuthi yiki umhlaba ubuye amabhuna amthuke lokho sabe singena nathi ngoba asifuna ukudisturba umlungu once disturba umlungu sizoluza ama packages ethu imoto yami indlu yami izothathwa that's a decision you are making ubulala wonke umuntu omnyama so we cannot continue in that direction Makela olela ukuthi ngiyaza bayisana ngathi manje sikhuliswa ama-prawns asikhuliswa ngama-prawns thina sikhule nesinkwa namagwinya ne-archer there once you are sacrificing for the nation udla ibiliboko lapha elokishini kunengane elala ingadlile ngiyacela Makela asifundeni isifundo ukuthi yonke into iyasacrificelwa and nobody gives you power you take it ipower yethu we need to take back our power lesambe sayoyinikeza abantu ukuthi hambani uthatha ama decision ngathi siyabonga Makela siyabonga yabona idlanzana leni kuthiwa vele umlilo ulayitwa idlanzana labantu kepha lo mlilo uthi ungabanga uvuthe sonke isikho ibambe njalo Makela ngoba amaqhawe sewe few namaqhawekazi very few abantu abasacabanga ukuthi it's not yet to na itshaleni sabalale lento ngoba this is what needs to happen ngisuke ngidize ngithathe umoya Makela so kepha ukhuluma wazi kahle uma athi kumamele the day uzoyiphikisa ngezenzo my heart will be there as well akujaja namhlanje ngijabule kahle sivakashelwa abantu abakhulu esigodlweni inkosana la umzwanele ya wakwamani Thokoza. Umunye wamakhetha asempini on a daily basis. Balwa impi abangayazi nabo ukuthi kungani siliswa. Basulwiselana labantu. Siyabonga khetha. Ubuqhawe bakho siyasibone la kuma TV challenge the establishment, even the way you deal with the media case. Udila ngemedia ngendlela vele kumele umuntu omnyama adile ngayo. Ngile ngayohlangana naye inkosana umzwanele. Inkulumo ebeyinhle kabi because ibe nezithelelo engeke sikhulume ngazo namhlanje. Kepha izenzo niyobona ngezenzo ngoba sikhuluma kakhulu. Sobona ngezenzo kuthiwa into uma usayaka ngalokhu fafaza lokukhuluma kakhulu wena ukuthi wena manje mele lokhu uhlonishwa ulokhu usatshwa because ukhuluma izinto. Abantu abenza izinto abakhulumi kakhulu bayithulela nje. Nina nibona ngezenzo zabo. Ngibonge kakhulu nje ukuthi yazi ukuhlangana kwami nenkosana kulethe ukhanyo okukhulu kabi, not only esigodlweni but for umuntu omnyama general. Njengoba ngisho ukuthi sivale our lips are closed. Kepha ke ngamita nabanye abantu futhi yazi ngicela ukubonga nje namhlanje baningi abantu engibona kahle ukuthi yazi abantu abagenuine umuntu uyamfila. This is what people don't understand. Ukuthi thina sibamba umoya wakho ukuthi ukuphi kulesimo esikuso. And umoya angeke ufake. Remember ukuthi isikhathi said sithe yini entropy, the release of that concentrated energy. So now ma umuntu oqamba manga uyimenemene, you get exposed in this season. Ngoba leyo energy tifu. Do you understand? Ugcine wenza izinto bongayimiselanga ukuzenza. But because of ingaphakathi lakho alikho right, uzibonakalise ukuthi umuntu onjani. So siyacela makhehla ukuthi asibambeni lento, sibeni serious ngayo. You know, this is not asumdlalo lo. Asumdlalo because it touches at the core of our people. Abantu abakwazi ukuthi bakhohliswe kabili kathathu. Balokho bathenjiswa an illusion. Hayi no, kuzolunga mesingenza lokho. Ayikho into ezolunga ngaphandle ukuthi ubukhosi masimatch again. Njengoba bemkhulumile, ubukhosi bungcolile leyandlu yobukhosi. Isadinga uklinwa. Sikhulume ngesituation yokuthi amakhosi amaningi installwe amabhunu. They toppled the real kings. Qiniso lelo. Ingakho isituation yethu sifila betrayal from both political people as well as amakhosi. Because you know, sibona ngezenzo zomuntu. Izenzo zamakhosi hayi azijabulisi. Amakhosi are the first people who should kahle lento yenzayo into yamakhosi. Umsebenzi wamakhosi lo to raise that voice. Ngoba izwe lathathwa kubo. Zange there were no political formations by then. But thina siyamangala uma bona bamdibi munye nepolitiki. Because they are supporting the very same scheme that has dispossessed them Inkosi enjani mawunjalo? Uvumela ukuthi uzobhadalwa isubject yakho endaweni yakho. Inhlonipho ke yakho iphi? Ingane le ikhula lapha mkwakho, ingane kaSibanibani. Why? Because unaleziqu anazo ayithole inganeni abelungu. Uzobusa wena manje namhlanje. Because he happened to subscribe to the political system. Siyacela makhesi. Siyacela into esicelayo nje iqiniso. Yonke into osiyenzayo manje moving forward has got to be driven by iqiniso. Amakhosi esiwazini besiloko siwakhoyamela siwathanda. Kepha manje when you do i-research ngawo uyathola ukuthi hayi salimala lapha mos. Amanzi angena through amakhosi by them accepting. As an example, uDingane wabulala uShaka. Inkosi uMpande yahlangana namabhulu ukubulala ba uDingane. Uyabona ifoundation ukuthi ku wrong right from there. Umuntu ubulale uDingane wajoja amabhulu. Yingakho bamzondana namhlanje. Ngeke uzwe bekhuluma positive ngoDingane. Kepha wonke lamanye amakhosi bawubeka la kuze kukhandwe ama-movie ngawo. Manje-ke makhehla sesivukile. Ubulwembu lolu obubula emehlweni buyasuka kancane. Asisathathwa nje umdumo. Kuthiwa hawu nali igama liyaphakanyiswa. Kepha sifuna ukwazi history yakho. Ukuthi wena ubume kuphi. Mina mengikutshela ngoMatiwana, ngikutshela ngenkosi eyabambana noGeorge for 3 years. Bephethe imkhonto neviko, uGeorge eza ngenganono. Kuthiwa amangwane bewevimba inganono ngamakhanda. History leyo eningayazi, engade niyazi futhi ngoba inyathelo. Matiwana. Angwati. Aluhlongwane. Thokozani makhehla. Ayithini nje brief. Ukuthi ni understand lento le ukuthi esikuyo. Yingakho mina mengiphakamisa igama lokuthi amangwane yiwo azongincedisa ukukhulula umuntu omnyama again. Ngoba sawalwa thina mangisi usomtsewu usazi kahle uthe demanda inkomo enkosini uMatiwane hayi yasukile yabamba nalapha eMpolompo lapha eTranskei namhlanje kune memorial la yini ilitshe lesikhumbuzo saleyo mpi yaseMpolompo. Fortunately uKhokho was never captured. Wa escape from that wabuyela eNatal. Thina mangwane sidabuka ngaphakathi umfolozo omnyama nomhlophe londi olundi. Kula sidabuka khona indawo yethu leya sigcine siyithola le eBergville because of izimpi zikaShaka. Ngeke siyeke lapho makhehla. Asibungazeni nje yazi sijabule this warrior spirit kaZindzi yiyo le esenza ukuthi sikhulume ngale ndlela. Yiyo futhi lo moya kaZindzi ongcwele labantu ehlangane nabo kule viki. Ngoba ebona uMadlomo ukuthi hayi umkhulu yedwa. Do you understand? Umkhulu udinga uncedo. Ayikho into ongayenza uwedwa. kumele u-identify abantu enicabanga ngokufana nabo ukuze uncedakale. Hayi lento lokuthi manje uzolokhu ugodla, hayi lento iqalwe yimi, hayi ini, ayisebenzi leyo nto leyo. Into esebenzayo ukuthi within a reasonable amount of time kumele sibone izithelelo zalomsebenzi we-unity esiwenzayo. Indlovukazi uZindzi uthe kulula kini mkhulu, umuntu omnyama udinga inyuye yakhe, umuntu omnyama udinga ikhalenda yakhe. Sebenzisani yona as an instrument to unite black people in South Africa, not only here but the rest of the continent, because lo moya we-calendar of the Southern Hemisphere affects the whole continent. And the continent yonke ihamba nge-calendar yabelungu. Our president baguqa ngesikhathi esi-wrong, bafaka imali where there's no correlation. Mawufaka imali ngama-events ka-December na Easter, iphambukile lento. Kahle kahle i-government isupporta ukuthi umlungu siguqe naye. Mesiguqa nge-Christmas ne-Easter sikhuphula amadlozi abo, ngoba mawulokhu ukukhuluma igama elithize ulinikeza amandla. Sonke nje makufika uSeptember, makufika uJune, the real Christmas of the Southern Hemisphere ngoJune, the real New Year of the Southern Hemisphere ngoSeptember, asenzi lutho. Yingakho we are powerless. Indlovukazi uZindzi identified that wathi mkhulu nayi instrument. I-calendar is very neutral. I-calendar yithi phuma eZayoni. I-calendar yithi uphume wherever. Maningi nje lamasonto kumele ngabe awayexist. Qiniso lelo. Manje ke makhethe, i-calendar is very neutral. I-calendar says umuntu omnyama needs and deserves i-calendar yakhe ne-new year yakhe. I-new year yethu is on the 23rd of September and it's very scientifically calculated. Lapha ku-spring equinox, bona labelungu bakutshela ngabo-spring equinox, twasahlobo leyo. Ayakuthema ngamagama ngako. So that you don't understand the relevance and the essence of that celebration. Manje ke makhehla ngiyahlela. Bengicela mina personally undaba ezitha abeke kancane undaba ezitha. Sicele nenkosana umzwanele, sicele neindlovukazi. Kepha umsebenzi wendlovukazi lo ukuthi ayenze, kepha yinto mina engangijabulisa, kepha i-platform, i-stage, it's open for everybody. Ngikhuluma nje kanje ngoba ucelwe yimi ubamani ukuthi please ngiyacela ngoba benikhona indlovukazi uZindzi meyiphethe lempi beyiphethe. Abantu aba-understandayo the struggle. Kade he's long been in the struggle. Okay. Siyabonga ndodakazi.
See the passion and the love you have for Zindzi and Mamuwini. We felt it also in our hearts. And the connection and the bond that will never be separated from the physicality and the spirituality. We felt you when you're saying and really opening up and telling us about the conversations that you had in Zindzi. Utumkulu, Zindzi would say to him, Mkulu, yiyo indlela le. No matter how difficult, this is the way. Now, as Godwin we teach the African calendar. You can really understand Zindzi while not talking from the physical aspect. Because spirituality is when you enter and truly understand umoya wako and truly understand this African calendar. Now we are so conditioned to understand only the things that are driven by our five senses. But umoya requires that eye that understands that you are not what you see, you are not what you taste, you are not what you touch, but you truly understand what is above that. Utunkuluge, this journey also requires loyalty. You need to be loyal to umoya wako. Because as Umkulu says that you need to weigh not your physical heart, but your spiritual heart against the feather all the time. You need to truly understand, am I true to myself? You can lie to the whole world, but don't lie to yourself. Because yourself requires the truth for you to be awakened. Let's rebuild the soul of Umdomnyama. We all understand that the soul of Umdomnyama, that is the land of Umdomnyama. Everything has to be driven by peace, being truthful to thyself. So we truly embrace you and we truly honor that the gift that you have. You always have the ability to share with us. You mean a lot. All right, yes, Siyabulisa, I guess it's Angola. Good to see you. Good to see you. Now I get utumkhulu inkosana ke umzwanele manje. The program ke niyazi we go with the flow. Simamela umoya. Ba uthini but umkhulu ke semsondezile ke undaba ezitha. So undaba ezitha bese iqala ke le ndaba. And then after that again, I think Mandela work in Kosana Mzwanele Mani after Ezil and then Sisbongi. Our best again, as it again. If they still get gases Zindzi, so it will come to you, get Sisbongi, and then get this Angola, and then get all of us. Get the time. The warrior spirit. So get over to you, Mandela.
The visit.
Ngwani nami ngale ngalanga ngicabanga ukuthi namhlanje isonto ngihamba ngiyobona angisile kakhulu angikwazi ukubeka kahle inkulumo kodwa ngizosho lokho kuyikhona ngendlela okwenzeka ngayo indaba ezini ngoba mhlawumbe kuzosiza ukuthi izinto sithathe ngale ndlela eziyiyo lezenzeka ngayo singafuni ukuzwa ngabathile ukuthi usho ukuthini ukuthi sithathe lokho kuyikho ngendlela okuyiyo ngoba kusuke kuyikhona indaba ezini angithi isizwe sensundu sisenkingeni isizwe sensundu uma uthi uyabheka asikho isizwe sihlupheka njengesizwe sensundu emhlabeni isizwe sensundu siyahlupheka isizwe sensundu kodwa futhi uma uthi uyabheka asikho isizwe esinomhlaba onothile njengesizwe sensundu lento isho ukuthini na ishiya imbuzo ukuthi singabantu abanjani thina esithi sinomnotho ongaka sinothe kangaka umveli nqange siphuma umnotho ongaka kodwa sihlupheke sikhona la kungahambi khona kahle emakhanda ethu kushuthi khona la kungahambi kahle baholi esinabo ngoba phela uma ugeje ikhanda lesitimela kujaji futhi zonke inqola ziza ngemuva zizogeja
indaba ezini
ubuholi bethu abahambi kahle ubuholi bethu ngoba ibona abantu ofanele ngabe bazivulela indlela basikhombise indlela ofanele ngabe siyayithatha ukuze sikwazi ukubisa konke ngokuthi siphele impilo ofanele ngabe siyayiphila umdala sidaleleyo ngoba umdala sidalele siphile njengoba ngike ngasho ngiqala sinabantu abahle abanothando nabathembekile nabanethemba nabathembayo sithatha amathemba ethu sawabeka kubaholi okungelona iphutha futhi sabeka kubaholi ababi okungebona abaholi ufana ngabe ibona abasolayo yonke lento lena fanele ngabe ayikho la indaba imoshela ukukhodesa sesitholile ithuba ngoba eshilo ungwani izinto zamoshela kumakhosizwe ondle bekhanyilana nabo bonke laba balithathe emakhosini silitholile ithuba ngokwenhlanhla umveli nqanga siphe yona sesithola ke ngabantu manje abangosopolitiki ukuthi sebengasibuyisela izwe lethu bakahle kahle yonke into befana iqale la eMzansi nizwe kase angithanda ukusebenzisa igama leAfrika ngoba angilazi
yabezi
yonke into befana iqale la eMzansi ikhuphuke phezulu eGibhithe
ndabezi
sitholile ithuba sahamba sayohlala nalabantu sasihlezi nabo khothe sasayoqoqa senze ikhululano nabo angazi izinto ezenziwa kodwa ke imphumela yazo iyo le esibekela sikhona namhlanje. Kuyacaca ukuthi angazi ukuthi bakwenze njani abantu bethu behambe beyonegotiate nabacindezeli ukuthi yini into ozoyikhuluma nokucindezela ubonisana ngokuthini. Ngivumile yini ozovumelana nayo ngayo. Ngoba phela akukho enavumelana ngakho mdala ithathe ibizo. Usuvumelana kanjani? Lapho sathemba ukuthi mhlambe kuzolunga. Angeke kulunga. Ipolitiki lesinayo abafowethu bahamba bayofunda yabo dadewethu bahamba bayakovetha bayofunda bafundela ipolitiki. Namanga
injalo
bahamba bayofunda bafundela ipolitiki. Isystem ebekodle bekhanyilana. Uhambe uzoyifundela uzokhulula umuntu wakini. Kodwa ukwenza iphutha so ngamafishane ngifuna ukuthini na ngifuna ukuthi ipolitiki angeke zisikhulule angikhathali ingaqhamuka ANC, IFP, whosoever. Yabekwa yibo laba basiphuciliza ucela bazokunika futhi isifutho uphinde uthathe ukube bekunjalo ngabe azange bayohlala phansi bakwavunyelwana kokhodesa sanikwa lo mthetho sisekeli sinikwe wona lo nqonywa wonke umhlaba ubuze isiphuma ukuthetha se-South Africa madoda amhleka kanjalo why pretending adotho baphila baphethe baweyekelani mawuza into ezosiza ineseyishila ungwane asihlanganeni asihlanganeni singabantu abansundu singesiyo ANC singesiyo IFP singesiyo asihlanganeni sokwazi sithathe lokho ngokwethu kulabo esibanikile ngoba labo esibanikele lithemba leli sabanika amandla ethu ukuthi ababuyise lokho ngokwethu bahlulekile basebenzisa lamandla esibanika wona ukucindezela thina yazi abantu behamba beya lapha eParliament ilanguage abayikhuluma lapha eParliament ilolulimi lolu lobasi abakhuluma lolulimi lwethu izenza isystem elapha nakule eParliament eukhwini they tried and tested ukubusa eAfrika kunezwekazi lakithi ubukhosi namakhosi omunye womongameli bethu uthole lokho kuthiwa two-third majority okufika kokuthathu okumvumelayo ngokohlelo lwabo ababevumelane ngalo lapha besidayisa ukuthi ungakwazi ukushintsha umthetho sisekelo abazange ushintshe ngibuza kwayekele ukuthi asibeni bantu abansundu akukho la sofika khona kunalokho lento leniyasihlukanisa isenza sixabane njalo akukho la sizofika khona asiphumeni kuyo sezikufana bese siyakwenza okuyikho simple sifuna izwi lethu sithokoze ilokho khanda
thank you so much for the bravery and to truly take us to the truth, because we are here for the truth, to understand what is behind what we don't know. This is the homework that we need to do. Undabezitha is giving us a light. We need to really look closer to this. Why is abantu abanyama sibaningi kangaka? Kodwa we are the ones that figure out. Where is our powers? And who builds all this wealth of your pyramids, of Nzado Yelanga? Because that is the wealth of Kokobutu. So where are those genes that were intelligent? Utige undabezitha. Woo! Again, we need to listen to all these politics, religion, with that eye of understanding with where is it taking us. Because we truly don't do the homework. We love Ndabezitha. We appreciate your presence. You always empower us with the dream and the visions that you have emangwaneni. Over to you. Nkosana ke msibele mali.
You know, generally I speak for a lot of people. I speak for His Excellency President Zuma. Sometimes I speak for this other new political party, but the ATM and all of that. But so that there can be confusion. Today I'm representing myself. If I say anything wrong, what for them? So is this just going to be me? As because today, what he said, he actually has enabled what I need to say. We began a scene to enter the economic course. Because the system has paid, the system has been doing. But because we unpack it very, very quickly, very, very simply. But I want to put it in the language they spoke. That's the interesting thing in see, but in a hamper after some time. And I've been doing a lot of thinking. In the first place, the ANC is the oldest organization in the continent. But South Africa is the last country to be liberated. How is that possible? I mean, how did you get it wrong? How come about Ghana be released before, but to my independence, but it's the oldest movement in Africa for the century? You know, the other thing, you know, something that bothered me. Off late, as you keep thinking, good man, can say, my biggest problem has been at one point, you know, in 1910. In 1910, there was a peace accord between the Afrikaner and the English. They locked us out, the Africans.
Yes.
Our forebears went to London to complain. The Queen, with their Queen, now, I've been asking myself, was that a revolutionary act?
No.
So I then called Udo Umuletimbi. You know, when this organization, when you go to just help me understand how did this happen? How did these people decide to go by part of Queen? Oh, George was Now, what I like about him, he's got a lot of friends and enemies, just like me. Lots of friends and enemies. But he opened my eyes. He says, no. Look at what happened when Abedung got here. What did they do in the 1800s and all of that? Yes. There were people that they worked with to help them take over the land, to help them oppress us more. Both in the Eastern Cape and both in the Cape, not Eastern, not East nor West, both in the Cape and in the Natal area, they had their people that they worked with, and those people at the time, when they worked with them, they also rewarded these people, the farm and all of this, and all other things, our reward these people. In fact, he says if you go to the Cape Constitution in the 1800s, some Africans were actually included in the not everyone, laba no standard 6, abakwazi ukukhuluma English, and all of that. This is when we hear the term called amazemtiti.
Yeah, bro.
That group was exempted. Not all the laws that oppressed people oppressed that few elite and all that. So these people were exempted. So this is the group now. Ehambileyo khala ku Queen with that Queen sasebenza kangaka ukunceda abantu bakho to take over. Now sesivayela ngaphansi. But the Queen was having none of it. You know? And then this is when the African National Congress was formed. Hey, but this call that is being made today was made in 1912. But they are opening coffee. Asihlangane lababhulu manje sasibonisa izizwe. But no sooner had they come together, these Africans, wafika 1956 in the Freedom Charter. You know, you must go to Google and see who wrote the Freedom Charter. You'll be very disappointed. Just Google it, young people in the call. Google who wrote the Freedom Charter. You will see Abu Bernstein.
Yes.
Abu Onkanamachut.
Yes.
Abale Freedom Charter. This is when you begin to have terms like Africa belongs to all who live. What was that? That was to accommodate them.
Yes. Yes.
This is when revolutionaries like Abosobuka, but enough is enough. Siyaphuma thina kule. Mina ngiphume ku ANC 2019, uSobuka waphuma 1955. So inkosi la ithe kwaba khona icodes. I'm just going to summarize because we don't have all day, but this is a very serious thing and I'm very privileged to be part of this arrangement here. So come Codesa, you know, out of Codesa, hey, Sarojo, serious. Serious. You know, out of Codesa, one of the things that was changed in South Africa, there was something called parliamentary democracy. So in other words, a national party at the time, they would go around with then they go to parliament and pass a law to do that. Okay, be good for war, not for these darkies majority serious. So if we allow the parliamentary democracy to continue, it means the majority will always get their way. But you know, as if in the society in the parliamentary democracy, let's push in what is called constitutional democracy. Now, constitutional democracy is rule of law. It doesn't matter what in my 100 need. No? They say, no, that is not rational. You know, now, maybe then, you know, I was traumatized, I think, around 2015 or somewhere there. I went to the Constitutional Hill. They were celebrating a constitution now. So I asked who, at the time, was still a DCJ, tell me, man, you know, when you were counting the countries that you consulted when you did this constitution, you didn't mention not even one African country. Did you maybe just leave it out and come back because no, it says no, actually there wasn't an African country that was consulted. Now you would think that, you know, out of all the countries, at least Ghana, because it got its independence long before us. Yes. At least Ghana and shown how does this work? No. They went to Canada, they went to Germany, they went to India, they went to the US, went to the UK, all of these countries. Now, one of the things that was being done in that celebration, there's a document called Magna Carta.
Yes.
This is so teenager, like South Africa, strictly speaking, was still a colony.
Yes,
The fact that South Africa was still members of the Commonwealth.
You
need to know what it means to be a member of the Commonwealth. One of the key things in being a member of the Commonwealth that you must agree to. There are two chief things that you must agree to be a member of the Commonwealth. And one of them is that in all the meetings that are going to be held by the Commonwealth, the language will be English. That's the first thing. The second thing and the deal breaker is that you must agree that the head of the Commonwealth must be the Queen. Now, basically, as we speak here and now, as South Africa, as members of the Commonwealth, we are bowing to the Queen. That's the truth. You know, and we tried to raise this in Parliament via this other new organization, but the UTM, to say, hey man, can you please resign from Commonwealth? Cyril was going to have none of it. Okay, and I'm here, I'm sure about Corner to buy You can take what I'm saying. On record, I'm saying Cyril told us in no uncertain terms we were talking nonsense. In the Commonwealth, in Parliament. Okay, it's on record. You can Google it. So, Mangitin from Quebec goes in English. You know, young people that are here, I think they must do this nation a favor. Pay back by using education to help liberate South Africa. If you go to the constitution of this country, because now it's land, go to this famous section, section 25. The most important subsection in that section 25 is subsection 7. You must read it. Those that have got Google can Google as I'm here. You can come man, call me out here and now. Subsection 7 of the Constitution of 25 says the issue of land restitution and distribution will apply to land that was taken from 19 June 1913 onwards. So what does that mean? This means that all the land that was stolen in the 1700s is not under discussion. All the land that was stolen, the only land that we're dealing with is from 1913. These are just a few farms from 1913 onward. That's the only discussion that we can have about land distribution and all of that. You know, then we raised this, by the way, with the ANC. I mean, I must say I'm really disappointed with the ANC. Seriously, I'm not here to decampaign the ANC. I can say this, in fact, I've had this discussion, even now the late comrade Jessie, soul rest in peace. I had a discussion in her own home, comrade Jeff, why are we not being honest with the people? We go there, you say to the people, expropriation without compensation and all of this, but you go to Parliament, when you get there, the word, in this bill, amendment section 25, the word expropriation without compensation, in the corner, again. It's expropriation with nil compensation. Now, at face value, you think it's the same thing, but it's fundamentally different. You see, when you say expropriation with nil compensation, we are actually saying the principle to compensate is there. You must make a case now for what is the situation that you will not compensate for. Now, the ANC has got had an opportunity to say, we're making a law now, amending this constitution, we're saying expropriation without compensation, so that you can then remove all the nonsense in the constitution that says market value, the reason why, all of this, we could have removed them by simply saying expropriation without compensation. But the ANC refused that. But nil compensation. So the issue of you must still compensate is still there. subsection 7 is not even a discussion point. So I want to say to you that maybe this movement is the one that is going to raise these issues. Because I don't know what to do. Because if you have, I mean, you know, I listen to people, they say the liberation movement, organizational cocodate and all of this. It is indeed like that. But if the ANC has lost direction so much, it's a problem. Actually, we're being sold by the ANC. Right? This is very sad. Very sad. Let me conclude. I'm not here to decampaign the ANC. But I think the ANC was a secretariat of the liberation of the people of South Africa. Now, if the secretariat has forgotten its role, the ANC's role was not to be for the ANC, was to be there to represent the interests of the people of South Africa. Now, you are the people of South Africa, therefore you need to be saying, the secretariat here to the IAPN, what do we do in order to reclaim ourselves? I mean, one of the things about the customary law, as an example, in this constitution, it says, you know, it mustn't really favor in this customary law. There are two laws that apply in this constitution. There's a Roman Dutch law, and there's the customary law. But the Roman Dutch law is superior. The constitution says the customary law will be allowed to the extent that it does not conflict with the constitution. So in other words, because this is Roman Dutch law. So you've got kings that, like it's been said already, that are basically powerless and all of this. So as I conclude, I want to thank this opportunity. Comrade Zindzi, you know, the first time I heard about her, I probably heard about her in the 80s at Orlando Stadium when she was reading a letter from my father. My father said, yeah. And then later in life, then we met and all of that. And also no mama, the song in the and all of that. So the family is at that level. And indeed, she was a fighter, even though she was played at Denmark, but in those are like South Africa. It was putting a tweet. She never thought, okay, because I'm posted out there as an ambassador, she was forever here through her Twitter account and making sure contribution is there. So I really miss her a lot myself because I know that she's one of those very spirited people, just like the mother. So indeed, I would really would be saying to all the women in here, young and old, please, the undying spirit Mandela, which was through Zindzi, can please live amongst you and make sure that you take the baton and move forward. And one of the key things that we must look at doing as this arrangement here, as this institution here, is the review of the constitution. If you don't review the constitution, trust me, because ulapa is cast in stone lapha. Until you change or review that constitution, we're just playing games. Thank you very much.
where do we start to find ourselves? We all heard him when he's telling us about the history of the African National Congress and truly pointing out what is it that we need to do. Pointing even the years I was writing, I hope Socio-political we were writing. Because the lecture kamkhulu or this celebration doesn't start here and end here. We need to go home. As he was pointing out, let's Google this information. It is out there. We will never learn without truly going and read for yourself. We need to do that. As he was pointing out here, with even this freedom charter that was written in 1956, who wrote? As a black person, you need to understand that who wrote your freedom charter. That you understand, where does liberation start and where does it end? And that is when you get to the point, are you liberated or not? And even telling us, obviously, time to Commonwealth. Now, this is what we do as Godwin, to unlearn. When you go home, we go home with different thoughts. And thoughts that are challenging, so that next time when you say you love something, you understand what to do. When you love now the Commonwealth, we are asked, but you loving to what? To bow down to the Queen of England. So all this knowledge that we get in this Godwin, it is truly to make sure that we are aligned emotionally, because as we understand that Zindzi Mandela's foundation is about the black unity. And he's even giving us pointers, let's start by reviewing this constitution and truly giving us a pause somehow. Probably this is the movement that will liberate Mdomnyama. We love truly your wisdom. Thank you so much. This is your platform. We are so privileged to have you.
Ngibonga abantu abakhona la ekhaya, ngibonga isikhathi
Ngiyabonga.
ngiyabonga ihlonishwe esikhona la ekhaya, ngiyabonga, siyanamukela. Ngithanda ukuthi ngikhulume ngoZindzi. uZindzi bekuwumuntu ohlanganisa abantu. Most of the people abanye ngibaziyo ukuthi ngihlangane nabo ngayi. Umuntu ozohlanganisa abantu and unothando. Ukufundisa ukuthi sithanda, mina into engifundile ngoZindzi uthando. Lot of love. Abantwana mangabe kunabantwana abafikile somewhere uyakhona nakugqokokote ngishoda ngani. Wherever ukhona, like you support wherever la ukhona lokuzana ukubhala khona isikali. And nokuthi sifundisa abantwana inhlonipho. Respect ebantwaneni. Isizwe sethu sibulawa ukuthi abantwana abasahloniphi. Akunanhlonipho ebantwaneni. Abantwana bathuka abantu abadala. Abantwana babhala noma yini ku social media into ezingacacanga. Ukuthakathi asebenzisa imithi angazi bayifundisa ubani. Not lokulimaza omunye umuntu wakini. Into fanele basebenzise ukuthi bahambe bayodraw ibank laphayana bathathe imali. Bank. So ngithanda ukubonga lesithuba ngithi uZindzi lapha la khona unyakeni edlule bengithi bangimela lapha ekhaya. Kodwa namhlanje I'm here to celebrate her life. Ngithanda ukubonga ngiyahopa lapha akhona ulele uphumulile. Ngiyazi uhlala nathi ngaso sonke isikhathi asivikela. Kule nyaka yomhlaba esiphila kuwo khona manje. Uyaxokuzela umhlaba. Kunzima akukho la kulula khona. Abelungu babhizi bathulile ngathi akunani kusenzakalayo. Kodwa bayazi ukuthi benzani behind our backs. Ngicela ukuthi sibambane kube nothando nozwano nokuzwelana ukuthi sibambane sonke yazi futhi kuncedane sibambane la sikhona ukuthi mangabe next door kunakudla keze lokho kumakhona si provide. Ngicela ukubonga angizange ngibe ngothi ngiyabonga.
Let's give another round of applause to We feel the connection. We truly felt the love even from your side. What you are talking about someone who's dear. And we're truly sorry that your journey had to end, but we understand now class is going. She never left. No, she is still. As I truly connected. As Sisbongi says, we are there's no way she wouldn't do that because that is her vibrational frequency. It is to protect and truly protect us. And you're saying, the love, whenever you are next to her, she's forever holding you and embracing you and truly curious about your story. Who are you? Why are you here? So, and you take and get respect. Respect is very important because, as I always say, you can never respect anyone outside you if you don't respect yourself. So, as the youngsters, we need to learn that. But it starts from within. Don't be scared to go inside yourself and truly respect you. Then you'll be able to embrace that. All right, so I guess it's Bongi. Out is Angola. The go and go. The go and go. That's exactly what Zindzi would like us to be. Unity. How we met? It's a story for another day. It's a bang for the spirit is Invoking. Anyways, guys, everybody on our board today, everything is so there's no need except to say, day in and day out. I'm gonna why you at my mom's house? I'm gonna do you know that's my mother? Yes, that's all what I can tell you about our friendship. The rest is history. For me, I can't even say Zindzi passed on. I am still talking because Zindzi, le mama, like they are still there. Crying some days, you are happy, some days you are so depressed. I am still saying to God, that you can operate as one sometimes. Sometimes I wish to give a round table to say, okay, today we can cool. At the Julian round table, we'll go first. Then we go, you know, and then I really, you know, our good times at my home, everywhere. It's beautiful. It's in a platform for everyone. Now I am done. I am happy to be here. This teachings, so that we can bring our children as well, so that they can learn and unlearn whatever that they were told. As for ANC, we were born in exile. We were doing that for our parents, so that we can be. They are non-existent. It's not in our lives, not anymore. I don't believe any ANC person. They have sold our souls to the cause. The last time people voted ANC was when my mother was still alive. My mother, my biological mother. But for two, you could participate about voting. Yes. Okay. They can go and fly a kite. To the highest dry lake and kite. We don't care. They are not doing any justice for us. We are so brilliant, we are so powerful, we are so many, we are so intelligent, we are everything. But when oppression is really a queen, but not anymore. It won't be one time. It's not yet. Amanda. Let's give Angola. Love the word Joe. Joe. Thank you so much, Sister Angola. We truly love your presence. It's an honor because in you we see Zindzi. Just by standing here, we feel more of her presence because we understand that you understand her heartbeat, and her heartbeat is not just in her; it is in you. That is why we truly wanted you to embrace us and be present. And as Sister Angola is saying, two things would have loved this unity. And that is what we come as Zimbabwean to practice her teachings, unity, black unity first. We need to start looking at each other and forgetting only cause and we truly appreciate that. As she's explaining, she cannot use the past when she talks about resilience. And you see, Samola, we don't use the past because we understand that the spirit lives on. The energy that we are, it never dies. It just multiplies. I'm sure Silo, anyone, we're so happy to see you guys. So thank you so much. As I said with Nana, hey, Moya, please come forward and truly what is it that you know, or what is it that you feel at this present moment when you are invoking the spirit of Lukas. She is within. Let's make sure that we say Gita and make sure that we are because as we invoke somebody's words or somebody's name, we are kupula. And in that we do this with gratitude. Because now funda and awaken. This journey is about awakening and understanding that there is a fire within, which she was able to give it all of us. Thokozani, I guess Gide, and I want people, I don't want to be pointing out, says Godwin, but this is our home. And it's text again that's here too, that we all know. So that was this again, it's the Amako Kutosi Kuele, casting this good Thokozani.
Oh, Tina, Sivi, Sivi,
Tina, Sivi,
the words again. Here, apartheid apologies. Your time is over. You will not rule again. We do not fear you. Finally, the land is ours. Over to you.
Zindzi.
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 Sechmet.
Sechmet.
Ambidlis. Last week was 30 days of myself being homeless. And ukuza wami esikolweni ngicela ukusebenza ngomoya. Something that I never knew, something that I never understood. But it's within me. And it's within all of us. So ngicela ukubonga mkhulu ukuthi masiza la singazi esontweni. Siza la ngathi siza esontweni. No, it shouldn't be like that. We should clear out the mindset ukuthi I am still my brother's keeper. I don't care ukuthi wenzeni, I don't care ukuthi uze ngesikhathi lesinjani, umuntu enjani namhlanje. But I am still my brother. So eziningi khehla iboya bunyathi. Indabezisa obana
Umana watiti pube Dabezisa Gonyana ya makosa mangwane Gonyana langwane Umana watiti pube Wanyaga kumkonto Wanyaga kumkonto
Bengazazi isibongo. Kodwa ukuza la kumkhulu sengiyazazi ngoba I don't need isibongo sithe osathi ukuthi ngizazi ukuthi ngibuya kuphi nokuthi ngiya kuphi ndabezitha. So ukuba kwakho la sithi ukubonga. Sibonga amadlozi, sibonge bone laba abasilethe la ukuthi sizokhuluma sibe naso lesi sikhathi esinaso nawe. Sibonge nawe mkhulu. Sithokoze mkhulu. Ulwela izindlu ngapha ngaphandle. Why? Because of the title deed. This title deed is ethi Queen from the Queen's Land of London. Naso lesi silungu esisikhuluma ngamakhala kodwa asazi isintu. Leyo nto amele siyeke ngoba amele sizazi ukuthi singabubani kuqala. Other than that, mina mkhulu ngiyabonga.
We felt you. Let's give him another round of applause. It's been 30 days last week, we're homeless.
37 days.
37 days, we're homeless. You know, in our journey as your big sis, I'll tell you something. Everything that is presented to you, master it. Rise above. Because in that, you'll find it. You'll and everything that is given into your plate, you signed up for it. And you said you will. When you're in the spiritual realm, would you side still within you? Okay? We're saying that because we love you. Never look in the physical, you see the spirit that you are. Stop us to say that tonight. You're all going to speak, As Omya Suga on stage, please, power and so much. Ajahut. Okay, come get your hood. Come get your hood. Everything is Ajahut.
Ngiyabonga ukuza la ekhaya esigodlweni ngibuya ePitoli nabafowethu laphaya into engenzile ukuthi ngize ngizobonga mkhulu khona iclips angazi liza ngesipuse bo interviewer uno Paul uno Smith ibanu DJ Smuda itheme molokukhuluma lapha na time yazi ezinye izinto osikhulumile zimkhuthazile so abafowethu bebathe bayahamba namhlanje ngathi yabona nini angithi uhlala ngidakile ngihamba nani namhlanje ngihamba nani ngoba bashilo bathi akuyafana nomphuzile kuyafana lapha angisho sesikolweni kuba ini isintu lapha asikhubi isizalwa economy sisitheme somlanda ke Phosphorus itheme ngikhuluma just ukukhuluma nje kancane bathi ujawudo ngathi ungazi kanjani so mkhulu ngiyabonga angibongi wena mkhulu angibongi idloti elenzile ukuthi ube khona uzofundisa ngemvelo yethu umuntu angangibona ngigqoke overall akathi imfundiso yanamhlanje ngwani imfundiso yanamhlanje asingayithathi sishiye la asithatheni soyi-implementa ngaphandle thokoza ngathi umama nobaba ugogo nomkhulu okhokho nabokhokho bayafundiswa ukuthi senzeka so mara mophuma ngaphandle yabo so this Zindzi Mandela Foundation ngiyabonga ukuthi ibe khona nala akhona yena ngiyabonga nomama wakhe la akhona nobaba wakhe la akhona ngiyabonga ukuthi usilethele umuntu esathi sikhumbule izenzo zakhe sikhumbule izenzo zakhe ukuthi izenzo zakhe bezinjani nawe njoba sihleli la from A to A to Z le kale asithi mesiphuma la sikwazi ukuthi yini into esifunayo king ntho erinyaka moruna re bolela ka bo Africa ba rona re blakhile re blakhile ka eng ka re latela nani bo mama uthi ngifuna umntanami abe esilungwini uyakhohlwa ukuthi ibhandi ngesixhosa wadibala gore le banta ke eng ka Sesotho nangesizulu uyakhohlwa ukuthi yini inwele uzothi akhohlwe ukuthi inwele yinwele isintu
Kimiri.
oh uyisoyazi manje ne ngicela ukuthi thina abazali bethu abakhona la abogogo bethu bomama bethu bosister bethu fundisani abantwana bethu isintu situ aresirute rescar sruta hanikile mo le kontlu tshwantse re sirutise le rute ya cool
Thokoza Jehu.
Okusalayo angisho ukuthi English siyakhuluma mara kubo mama kulabo mama bakhona la ekhaya isilungu lesi esifundile charity begins at home the background esinayo manje esikhonayo thina ukukhuluma nomphakathi is because we are ekhaya ngicela ukuthi nibafundiseni thina abantwana benu isintu
Bonge Jahudi. Jahudi. Bonga nesintu and ke uthi ke bomama bononzala bathu gives you the opportunity ukuthi nawe asifundiseni abantwana isintu sikuvile ke Jehu siyabulela. Okay, another speaker please. Thokoza mkhulu. Seka mayisuka cela omnye nomnye bethunana so that we move quicker. Thokoza mkhulu.
I'm busy. Before ngifika la Kemet like bengahlekile mkhulu like ngifila something ebuhlungu ngaphakathi ngoba mkhulu like ukukhulele lokushini mkhulu ukhula like ufila ngathi awuna wealth le uzinzi kakhulu ngayo that bankruptcy there ngizwile nami njoba ngihamba nami njoba ngifunda ngesintu njoba ngifunda kuma videos kanje ngesintu ngafila ukuthi nami I'm bankrupt but ngithe mangifika la esikolweni ngafila ngathi ngi-rich nge-legacy yayo umama ngithanda ukubona ukuthi usiphe something ukuthi nathi siziqhenye ngayo singafili empty
Yebo.
singafili bankrupt siziqhenye ukuba ama-Afrika nathi singafuni ukufana nabanye abantu njengabelungu owamandile so ungenze nami ngafila proud ukuthi mangihamba la ngizizwe ukuthi ngum-Afrika.
Yebo.
Ngithanda ukubonga legacy ashiyele yona. Yeah, ngithanda
Siyakubonga kakhulu that you found your wealth. In fact, Zindzi babies are your spiritual currency. We felt you now, your presence. We were here when you walked in, and we can see the consistency of coming back and coming back. We love you so much.
I'm Kapesizo. Hayi, ngiyabonga namhlanje ngifika phakathi nawe. Njengoba kuloko khulunya ngomamzizi asezele zona. 2-3 nyani izinto engiziphikile yabona. Mara bangafuni ukuba ngude nami ngizothi fahla. Okokuqala into engibonisile ukuthi lento leyo baloko bathi they made it something of a marriage institution, but it's not. It's something ehamba no mama. Man kuma relationships or whatnot, you should go and look for people with substance. I love substance. I think I'm cool and to say substance. I will not only put you physically, but where I want to go and trust him with my dreams. And because he was a man of substance, and whatever that she started, when she started this foundation, so when she was sitting there and thirsty and wanting many others are going through what I'm going through. When I'm doing this, let me not be like a typical person who has to baguette and fetch water from the stream. No, I will dig a well. I will dig a well so that everybody. So, what else not be sensitive and solutions? Right now, you know, deal in alopecia, deal in alopecia, take you leave. That's not a solution. You're just covering up. You must go deep as women and children of today. Since the solutions and the substance, which no matter how big. Honestly, it's policy that's banning. Even when we come, we think we're okay. When you get here, he felt like he didn't exist when he got here. He felt like I exist. Some of you get allowed to go to PhD and this place will show you I'll say young because and that didn't speak to me anymore. When you I cannot be the only person who's feeling like this. And then so all I'm saying is in the future, I think the example that temporary solutions. How right EK able to song is the song in this, letting black people to know about themselves. We're not sharing every part in the social is a little so let's be
love your story and your words of encouragement. Truly in relationships, we need to look for people that will substance. We learned a lot from that. It is a temporary solution. Everything. I can heal you. We need to go beyond that. We love your passion. We truly love your commitment as well. Thokozani, let's do a round of applause. All right, there's no one coming forward. Okay, all right. Now you can sit here and so that this don't go fast. Okay, over to you again. All right.
namhlanje sithanda ukubonga ngoba ngathi ngehashasheli proud angithi thina generation esikhulayo sithi ngamahashasha so mina ngehashasheli proud i-history ngibhekile kakhulu ngiyabona ukuthi ngi-era so ki-era kanje ngiya-understand kwesiphi isimo abantu abadala badlule kuso so nami ngithanda ukubonga ukuthi yo la ekhaya siceda ukulithola ikhambo lakakhokho okhokho bedala ngelapho senkosini lapha ekomhobo nakomhobo rabona hawu lefatshe le bokhokho le ntle so ababotho bagolo wale sa khulile mo gae ba re re pantse le lefatshe la go papa go ke re a khutlele re rona re ka nka mo ngibonga umoya khosi
Resonance. One more of this costume. All right, over to you. Over to you.
Ngizokhuluma ngenye language. Njengoba sazi ukuthi music is a universal language. So I hope you will feel the truth. And I hope I'm gonna say the truth with this language and nothing. Today is a very special day, so I'm gonna play a very special song to me. It reminds me of my teacher, who is my grandfather, my late grandfather, Dennis Nene. So yes, I'm gonna pay tribute to him.
Nkosi omkhulu. The music is the universal language. We all felt you. We felt the message. We felt the language. A round of applause. Celebrating, let's not forget that we are celebrating Indobukazi, Zindzi Mandela. Ifuna album. Ifuna album. Oh, okay. Celebrating Socio-political umsila uyem uvela bambenzele. Any other speaker? Oh, Izandlovukazi.
Thank you. So much. We literally came here specifically to be in this presence. I'm so filled with overwhelmed of emotions being black because we're always connecting online. Severe, like, it's a win. When you came to Durban for East Festival of Soccer. Oh, what an experience. Oh my God. It wasn't quite an experience. But I just briefly wanted to say thank you to Umkhulu for taking the call to do this. Because as abantu abaningi sebekhulumile ukuthi if Umkhulu bekade angazange avume lo moya uthi udlulise from uMawu uze ufike nakuMaZindzi as well. Nakuyena avume ukuyithatha le mental, because I feel like it's like a mental ibathon ilibele idluliswa. If ubekade ngavumanga ukuthi ayithathe and agijime nayo ngabe asikho lana. Ngabe asikwazi ukuhlangana. As we were driving from Durban, because we literally just drove today, as I said, literally sizela. One of our speakers spoke about, as we were driving from eThekwini, we were speaking about Lento, how as South Africans, we finally find a common ground which is united. AbaZulu, AbaPedi, AbaSotho, everywhere. The fact that song is abantu abamnyama, the fact that song is abantu, the fact that song we have melanin. That is enough to unite us. That is enough. We do not need to be separated by abelungu abafika baseparator. So let that be the unity. And I'm hoping and praying may it germinate to everywhere. Because Nina Manilana, you may not know the impact in Nienzayo. I absolutely love the musician. If I could export you guys, this is I'm literally with because you sometimes you know when in a Mandela probably Anya's impact any Lutina is Bugay. You know, you may think in Izalella, you know, for Lababalana, but the spirit is so powerful because even what when we're watching on TV, because for us it has become a religion. On Sundays we are all sitting down and we are all taking in because we want the spirit mangabe see here. So whether it's you guys who are playing the music, mangabe ekuluma, ndlovukazi mangabe ekuluma, that spirit zifuna nathi hit at the same time. And what I love about Umkhulu, and which is the reason why we're so moved that we had to drive here and actually come to him, is because isn't the Umkhulu akhuluma are things that we had been talking about in our own corners. And saying that it would be so nice if we can have this as Abantu, something that would unite us, as everyone was saying. Isn't this just uniter? Because this way, then Sizowazi as Umkhulu Eshilu, I remember the other time Ekuluma eti Bapelulu Ugis for like months or weeks or something like that. So I was like, oh my word. Tineteguni was being lucky in a way because of the floods. Ilo shading as yes. Ilo shading, we just have ilo shading because of that. But as he was speaking about that same I think day, he also spoke about how manga sekutholwe umhlaba abantu start to plant abantu baqale batshale and start to trade amongst ourselves. You know, and I was like, oh my word, I really need to meet him because this is exactly the kind of talk that we should all be talking about. And since Kati, it may seem like a but sometimes it doesn't take a lot. From where you are, from the connection on now, access on now, whether you color from a perspective, color from whichever perspective, as long as you start, and then you start bartering and you trading amongst so that way we also take away the because how is it when you see nothing that yes sifakwela emalokishini and amalokishini and ama spaces amancane. I don't know much ngeSoweto, but eNatal siphuma khona ukutshala vele into yethu even if sine space esincane siyakwazi ukwenza utamatisi, siyakwazi ukwenza ama-green pepper, abanye benze lettuce, abanye benze ini, and then you trade it out. Yazi nginekabishi eningi when utshale ini. That system is so possible. I was speaking to another friend of mine, I will not be long. And the Angela about a battery system, but also in KZN, where as a family they come together, but in gold. And then you go and then they split it by Azate and give it to all the different members of the family. And they last them for almost the entire year. How about you for 6 months, how about you for 8 months? But doing that bartering system goes a very, very long way. So if we can start looking amongst ourselves, what is it that we can do from here? And umkhulu wakhuluma into lana earlier ethi mangabe siqala even if umlilo uke ngathi mncane. To me, whenever I see this place, looking from online, I see a great place taking place lana. I see a great movement that will literally go all the way from here to Cairo, because that's how massive it is. So don't despair ukuthi ulana or awunainda ohlala for 37 days, but know that actually you are more lucky than abangaphandle, because ongaphandle yena akakatholi le ndawo. When your thankfulness nokubonga wakho ukuthi mina at least ngifikile endaweni nje, because the fact that when abakini bakuvulelile indlela wathi wafika lana, that is isibusiso on its own. I am running from the applause for Invoking. Enjoyed that in the winter solstice. Devon was very warm, meaning the people were so warm and truly encouraging us a lot to keep moving forward. As a great empire of Kenya. As she says, Geshe's filled with emotions without that gratitude, saying bong and that. Any speaker that I know we are eating. So for guys, food. Oh, that's nice. Can I have another speaker, please? No speaker. Yeah? Me like that. Oh, come, doctor. No, doctor. Oh, kunekamba as well. Come. Yes. Kunekamba between we don't move ikamba around. We are ziyela ukhanyise esigodlweni. Masikhanyisa ke it's the food we eat. The culture esigodlweni we eat together. Sigidilana, and then after that you see all of us. And then another thing that we do ask you questions to Umkhulunsingiza, and then after the questions to Umkhulunsingiza, we make a circle. And that circle, so over to you. Guys, we love you so much.
Asserment. Okay, like I was telling follow. I'm sure end of last year. So I'm quite honored to be here to speak slightly unexpectedly for the occasion, but I'm happy to oblige. Kakura, I've learned so much today. Maybe just picking from the speakers. Umkulu, when he was speaking earlier about the history of South Africa dating from 1910, it's incidentally research that my team and I are doing to bring out these truths that are not spoken in our narrative. Because if we understood these truths of how things came about to where we are today, we wouldn't behave the way we do. We would honor so much more this African spirituality that is a given blessing from Ramaseki. So it's we young. When we come here, we're young because we come to learn from the elder, but from our peers as well. But the history, I'm also just gonna enforce to say we need to learn so much more about it and hear from our grandfathers, document them, archive these stories, because it's what we're learning right now. I'm convinced that if South Africa saw these documentaries that we're gonna put together, we will not be behaving the way we do. We would be abandoning Christianity like that instantly. So secondly, I'd like to thank Unkulu Nondlovukazi for these lectures that we get every Sunday. Because I will take it back to our African calendar. It has taught me, just as Ndlovukazi had said, about myself so much. You know, we followed the horoscopes, not knowing that that was just a derivative, you know, from what truly is. It's everything is upside down in the world. That's what I understand. So north is south and south is north. But as we unlearn, I'm just gonna say thank you to everybody who's here, and I'm encouraged every day, every time I interact with any of the participants by the GAG movement, and I am part of the GAG movement as well. I'm not separating myself, it's only to say, as I observe, I'm so honored to be part of this. So blessings.
I'm gonna start by saying, you know, we love you so much. The work she does, as you can see that she's holding a camera. We've got so much beautiful pictures that she posts, and mostly the videos, some of the videos that are online. Ubasi dedicate her time to come and do this. We love you so much. Truly, truly. And I love the research that you are doing. Please share more about that. As she says that we need to learn more about our history tonight. This is your story. Let's take ownership and move forward. I need a speaker. Yes? Okay, no problem.
Ngicela nje ukubonga i-GEK mkhulu neNdlovukazi nawo konke elikwenzayo. Nami ngizovakashela ugogo ngapha eSoweto. Ngifunde Cape Town. Naye bengisafuna nje ukuthi ngihabule kuye ngoba ngifunda i-architecture. So there's a lot ebengikufunda nakuye. That has made me the architect that I am. And actually now ukwenza kwakhe ngokwethu, but the higher force that is behind us. Ababhali, and the other thing engifuna ukubonga ngayo the opportunity ukuthi nisiphe amagama. I think amagama are a very important thing. I-vocabulary ukwazi, that opens up your eyes, right? Sonke la electrician mangangena kulo le room, they see this space differently. Why? Because they have their vocabulary. Mangangena uzokutshela ukuthi ila light, it's how many ohms, this, that. Even a painter, mangangena uzokutshela ukuthi even this gold, it's not just a gold, it's a specific gold. It's this, that. And I think GEK, what it has done is it has given us these words, or ang, for us to be able to see these things, because they've always been there. It's just
asizazi. And even when we go back to our history, it's there, it's always been there. It's just these words that we need to know. Sizisho. Umkhulu uyakhuluma ngesintu. As long as it's say here, you won't see the true value of it. Because isintu, the way it's framing our corner, is that even the words themselves have a meaning and show you who's into yini kanjani. So ngiyabonga ukuthi nisiphile lamagama, and then you keep on unloading them and unraveling them so that we are able to see zonke izinto ekumele sizibone. So ngiyabonga ngalokho, bonge nabadala abala. Ngiyasikhuthaza because nathi as a younger generation, there was a time where I almost wanted to give up on the older generation. But mina manje so ngifuna nje ukubonga lokho.
Hayi siyabonga. Let's give him one round of applause. We wish you well, Nkosana, in your architect. Our pyramids need to be revisited, and we need to be taught more about the energy or purpose that made them to build the first pyramid. That information includes things that teaches us, but we do want even the younger generation to be careful with what are the necessary homes that will make us heal, that we need to build. So ikuwe ke Nkosana, siyabonga kakhulu, and as it says between GK, it's another vocab. I remember now the first time I was Phahla, I was like, abantu babibo. It was at Zindzi's house, it was Umkhulu's birthday, Umkhulu waphakama, hey, Anku. I'm like, Umkhulu thetha ngabantu babibo. But in that, we don't look back. Because as you say, that resonance, that cosmic resonance, that's why Umkhulu's favorite word is always say, remember. Because in the Akashic records, you will remember. These words, you've heard them before. In fact, there's a possibility you've created this, because we don't start, we don't end. It's a journey. So,
with what she just said, some of us have products, some of us have gifts, and some of us have the ability to produce what Nkulu was talking about too, in terms of the JSE. It's not only just them that have those tools that can check the fluctuations of what's going up and down. It's not them that can control the markets. Naturally, we still have that ability and the intake. It only depends on the resources and the willingness of the people that you're around. Because if I am by myself, I'm weak. But if I have you guys, then I'm more stronger than umuntu ozozala azucela ukuthi na ngikhambe. Because only one person can do that. And we all know that we are able. We are ngokuthi inhliziyo enjani at that time and at that moment. So I'd like to say that some of us have gifts and abilities. I think it's about time that we actually express ourselves and expose these people that are out there taking from us, taking that 1 rand from Git Sonke Sgan. But what Tina, 10 cents from them. So I think this is the time, Makeka and End of God, this is the time that we take what belongs to us. I'm Mukela, but forcefully. Because I best believe we all have smartphones, we all have a laptop. So it's cool I come, but would see the bearing gifts, cool. I would see I could say corn. In the school, would see the bearing gifts, that frankincense, that myrrh, that gold. School I Melama school. Now this is the time. So Yabong and
All right, here, Maketa. Vivan. All right, Masiva Lendia. As I mentioned, give it tonight, this is the time here for questions to Umkhulu. I'm sure he's having his water. On behalf of the great empire of campus, and on behalf of Zindzi, Mandela, and on behalf of the said all the time, we felt her presence. We felt her presence, and let's make sure that we take that home and truly make sure that every day as we rise, will rise, understanding that she is part of the foundation of what we know now. As all the speakers, we cannot do this without you. By coming and truly making this your time, and ivuseleli justice kodwa, ivuselana nathi as individuals. So we don't take it specific myself. I don't take this journey for granted. As I said, my cry on my opening, my cry for Zindzi was, how can Amadlozi just give me 23 days? I wanted more from Zindzi. I didn't know that it's going to be a journey of 23 days in physicality, and it's going to be a 2 years journey working close to Nzingiza. But every day I wanted her. But I understand Amadlozi, don't make a mistake. They made sure that I meet her in physicality so that I can get that strength and truly understand that when I stand here, even in my weakness, I draw energy from her. So as I said, why 23 days? But every day they appeal, and every day I learn and unlearn. This is something that I have to take forward. So as you can see now, as Sakali, we keep moving and keep moving. Alright, so to our viewers at home, it is such an honor. We don't take it for granted. We understand that you make this time and truly watch us on your TVs. And now this is the time we say, Aluta continua. We will see you next week, same time, 11:30 for 12 o'clock Mpalo, Tokozani. All right. I need to and give a sense to all right.